Hey everyone, David with Surplus Institute here. Happy Wednesday. Crazy week going by really fast. So, want to talk to you guys about getting started in not only surplus funds, but any business. And what does it happen or what does it take when you're first getting involved in business? It's just you and you're doing this by yourself. And are you communicating with the people that you need to communicate with? Because this is one of the biggest things that I see happening in the business: communication and follow up. And probably out of both of those, I would say follow up is number one. You talk to a client and they don't know anything about it, and you get them the agreements, and you're afraid they're not going to call you back, and you don't call them back. And now you're in this little pissing contest, and who's going to go first? You lose the deal. So what do? You follow up. Maybe they have gone with someone else. Maybe they decide not to go with you, but you're not going to know if you don't call them back. And you've got to follow up. They want to see the business man or woman in you, and you've got to follow up. You've got to show them that you're a professional business person, and it's all in the follow up. And the business is going to be centered just around you. And let me tell you, most of the people that you're around probably don't know what it's like, and it's very hard to go from the work world. Like when I was teaching, I was making probably pretty close to 10K a month. Very easy to just rely on that and fall back on. And as much as I'm grateful I've had that, and I'm grateful I had that salary, when I had to step out, I had to replace that, I had to pass it, and I had to be sure that I could take my income and absolutely pass it. And that's what I've done. But it's in the communication and it's in the follow-up, and it's just you in the business. And you got to work this business. You got to follow through. And are you calling 10 people? If you call one or two people with deals and you don't get a response, it's easy to say, okay, this doesn't work. I make this much doing this, so I'm going to continue working. Then you're going to be miserable. Then you're going to try the same thing over again, which is insanity when you try the same thing over and over again. And then you're going to go back into this rut. Well, let me ask you this. What if you called 50 people with unclaimed funds? You call 50 of them, you're going to more than likely get a few of those under contract. I know a guy who right now is working his surplus funds business. He's working mortgage overages. He's been through my program, and he does 2 deals a month, and he averages over $5,000 a deal, makes over $120,000 a year. Now, 2 deals a month isn't much, but he only puts in a couple hours a day, 2-3 hours a day at this. Now, I work 2 businesses, and I'm going to go somewhere with this story. I'm working on a project of a property right now, a house, and it's got some major foundational issues. And I've just picked up a rental. I have another house that I'm rehabbing. I've got another property under contract, and I've got more properties than I'm comfortable with right now. So this one I'm going to take. My contractors looked at it. So I met with some financial people from the bank that know me, and the main guys works at a bank that I sat down with, and 2 of the guys said, well, we need some work on this property. We need to know, there's foundational issues. There's other things going on with the house. So I look at the guys straight in the eye, and I said, I agree with you. I said, by the way, I've called the foundation specialist company, specializes in foundation, 5-star reviews, over 100 Google reviews. Here's their estimate on the property to fix the foundation. They're going to go in. I said, I've allowed $10,000 over budget for that, just in case, but here's what this is going to be. Also, in regards to the resale, I agree with what you're saying. I've called 3 realtors, all have over 5 stars, and I said, here's the CMAs that they've given me. Here's what they're saying the house will sell for. This one has moved over 100 houses. She called me back immediately. She followed through, and she's called me 2 or 3 times since, and all these comps are within half a mile. Basically, it was like, okay, when do you want the money by? After that. Now, when I was first into and what I do is I work surplus funds. I take a lot of my proceeds from there. I put it into my real estate investments or other investments, and you got to start off somewhere. Why am I telling you that story? When I first started real estate investing, I would have met with those guys. I would have let the homeowners work me way up on a bid. I would have been way underwater like I was before. But when you work properties and you work deals, you know how to work with people. You know how to get what you want. You know how to ask for what you want. These guys are giving me 100% financing. They're coming in on a lien position on the property, which is typical. I will be responsible for making payments and what have you. And I'm fairly confident that I can move this property. So let's go back to surplus funds. What about those phone calls and everything? Well, I will say for every 10 deals, I average about 3 to 5 that I close. Now, I don't close them all. It's not like I go up in an hour and I just call people and say, hey, you have money you didn't know you had. They say, oh, great, David, let's go and do this. I call, I plant the seed, I inform them. It's an educational call, and I let them know what I could do for them in the process. And then I go ahead and I try to get that hook in that call, because I don't want to just call and say, hey, you have funds from 123 Main Street, go to Bank of America, collect those funds, have a nice day. They're going to do that. But if I say, hey, you have these unclaimed funds, I'm an unclaimed fund specialist. I just want to, first of all, make sure that you're aware. If you have any questions, are you in the process of collecting these? Not, if not, why not? Like, has anyone contacted you? Are you working with anyone? Would you be interested in working with us? If I go ahead and I show you, you pay nothing until we get you paid. If we don't get you paid, you pay nothing at all. And I do that educational piece of the business because it's educating them on the funds. If I call up and just say, hey, you have money that you didn't know you had, can you go ahead and work with me and do this deal with me? I'm hungry for money, and I'm going to get the customers that I don't want to get. And this is absolutely so true. Some people, if they want to go get it without me, let them. There's plenty of people that want to be handheld through the process. There's plenty of people that want to work, and I want to work with someone who follows through. There are people that I do decide not to work with, and I know that sounds weird. Is it money? Maybe, but like, I've done the business enough to know, like, are they going to go around me? And people do go around me. I had a lady a while ago that, for whatever reason, she went around me, and I've talked about this on a previous channel. I have plenty of other deals that have cashed out that have gone through. But what I do is I plant the seed. I let them know about the unclaimed funds. After I let them know about the unclaimed funds, I then ask if they have any questions. I then say, by the way, we assist homeowners in working with this. It will cost you nothing. Once we get you paid, we'll get 30, 40%, whatever it is, depending on the size of the fund. Maybe I'll get 10%. And I go ahead and I educate them on that. And then what I do is I go ahead and say, can I show you the agreements? I can email these to you. If you're happy with them, I can go ahead and schedule a notary and we could go ahead and get moving. And then at that point, I go and if there's yes, I know I pretty much 80% of the time I'm going to get the deal. Now, if the person opens up to me, like the other day on one of my live cold calls with the community, I had a guy that broke down crying, and it was so intense that I ended up not posting that phone call because, first of all, I felt really bad. I did share with him that I was calling on a recorded line, but I felt really bad that he was going through that, and I didn't want the community to listen to that. I guarantee you that guy, I've got his business. Anytime someone opens up to you, and you don't want to say, okay, cool, I have their business. I was on the phone with this guy for about 20 minutes. It was very uncomfortable with me, but, I called him. I needed to kind of be a sounding board, and then I instructed him, and he's like, oh, that would be great. Now, this case is very difficult because there's some family fighting. There's some cousins that are trying to get the deal. According to him, it went to his father, and he's supposed to get it. People are fighting over this, and I had to tell him. And so I never say I don't know. What I did say is I've dealt with these types of situations before. You're going to need our attorney to work with you. I've got one in the area. And literally, I'll hand this off to the attorney, and the attorney will give me a finder's fee for the referral. I use them all the time. In fact, this attorney, when we're in Florida, he's asking to take me out to lunch, and he's a really cool guy. It's really cool when you're going out and an attorney's seeking to spend time with you because they're very expensive and they have money. By the way, with an attorney, and I'm going way off on subject here, I have it set where they get a percentage of what I make with $1,000. They get a base fee of $1,000, and then they get 5% of what I make typically on most attorneys. Now, if you're doing this business for the first time, it's like that deal I told you with the bank. You're not going to be able to walk in with an attorney and say, hey, I want you to get $1,000 plus a percentage of what I make. They're going to say get lost. But what I do is I'll walk in with an attorney and I'll say, by the way, here's the deals that I've done. Here's the people that I've gotten paid out. I'm looking at moving into this state. I would love to work with you. Here's what I typically pay the attorneys. I plan on bringing you 3 to 5 deals a month, $1,000 base pay plus 5% of whatever I make. Most attorneys will be happy with that. Now, if you're brand new, what I would do is I would get the deal first, and then I would go ahead and find the attorney. And some people say, well, isn't that putting the chariot before the horse? Well, you can argue about this all day long. You go to an attorney and say, hey, I'm going to start a surplus funds business. I've never done a deal. They get calls like that all the time. They're going to say, yeah, go get lost, or what have you. But if you actually research attorneys, look, and then research deals, look. Like my first deal, and I've shared this a million times, it was a $1,500 tax overage deal. I had no idea what I was doing. I called the county to verify the funds were there on one of the deals. That wasn't the deal that I ended up getting. And then I called, and the lady's like, really, I have funds? I didn't know I had. And I'm like, will you work with me? And she's like, oh, absolutely. I appreciate you telling me this. And she goes, $1,500 isn't much. What's your fee? And I go, what if we split this 50-50? I didn't have an attorney. I didn't need one. It was in Florida. It was a tax overage, and it was incredible. And it has gotten me to build that confidence that I need to do to be able to get other deals in this business. So I'm sharing a lot here with you. I usually don't do videos this long. I hope this is helpful. Do me a favor. I'm going to be trying to do more videos like this. Subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you want me to talk about in the comment section, because a lot of you will put down like different comments or different, like, can you talk about attorneys? Can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? And gladly, I'll do a whole section on attorneys. I'm here to help you guys out and help educate, and people have helped me on. I'm going to pass that forward. Some of you I'll end up doing business with later on, and there's probably a way for us to do business one way or another, and would love to do it. It's growing and it's working your business and working it to the hardest. And again, I just was going to get on here and talk about the follow-up, and I've gotten into like a 10-minute video here. Super excited. I haven't done a video this long in quite a while, so I really hope that this grabbed your attention. We do have some free educational resources on our site, Surplus Institute. Go ahead and click. You'll see the links down below. We are in Florida this weekend. There are still openings for that. I'll make sure the Florida link is in here, but literally we're like 2 or 3 days away. But if you want to do a trip to Florida and learn about this, feel free to. We've got a great team out there that are working with people. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I'll see everyone later.